over to our casters to bring you all the action. DFYG versus Aurora Gaming, semi-final start now.
Thank you so much to the panel for breaking down our first game here. Again, the semi-finals, this best of three between two amazing teams that have gone the journey up to this point, fought their way through it all, and now it leads down to two final days here for Games of the Future 2025 in Abu Dhabi. It's me, Nisu, joined here with Wolf to bring you the action. Wolf, how we feeling, man? You know, this is a crucial one. It's a best of three. This is game one. I feel like both teams brought their best strategy for game one, though.
Hey, I like what you said. Kind of feel like Super Ken on any assassins / core heroes would be good for DFYG. At the same time, I kind of miss Long with the Moskov as Pagu almost is taken out there. TNZ on the Lancelot's always a sight to see. Aurora Gaming, they're poised to make a late game run against DFYG, whereas DFYG wants to control the early to the mid game. We'll see if that will be what we are seeing today.
Yeah, again, with this kind of the course that we've seen, at least through here, of Games of the Future, we've seen a lot of this back and forth between game to game, where teams would opt for either the YSS lineup. That's pretty much how I like to call it. And now this one is a little bit different just because, again, you don't have naturally what we do see is when the YSS is picked up on a composition, you'll have like the double fighter going, you know, for that case. But in this one, it's Lone goes with the Harith. And it's interesting because even in the draft, they banned out the Moskov, right? So they banned out the Moskov. He's not going to have that. Oh, Zed's fine. Okay, he's low. But Logan is going to be on this Harith that needs to go ahead and scale up. And, you know, I expect him, if I don't actually know if Aurora Gaming is just going to keep using one ban just specifically for Logan, because that's exactly what it is. That's a targeted ban towards him, because we've seen what he's capable of doing on that Moskov. So he's going to have to do the same thing here with the Harith, dealing with the fact that Harith did receive a little bit of a nerf essentially in the patch a few days ago. But right now, DFYG has complete control of the objective. They secure the first turtle of the game, and Aurora really isn't able to do much. And that is just because of the lineup that they have, really. You're not going to be able to really do much until Pagu is level 4 on that Kalea.
Yeah, in fact, Aurora Gaming with this Alice in the XP lane as well. You have the Cloud and the Lancelot. All of that combined together. Kind of they want to go for the late game. As there will be a clash in the mid lane. They force the Brilliance for now. It goes the ultimate, but the Flicker will save Rosa. As we get out of there for DFYG. The Glorious Pathway is from number 2. They know that there's no Brilliance. They can dive. They have taken up Rosa. A kill onto Super Ken, and they have protected the Yi Sun-shin. The juggle under the turret is perfect for DFYG. And they even get more. We do know that this composition coming from DFYG excels in the mid game for DFYG. I mean, specifically for this game. If you look at the line of DFYG, sometimes it can work in the mid and the late game. In other, you know, if Aurora picked anyone else. But I think that in specifically this game, the power spike for DFYG is in the early to the mid game. Whereas for Aurora Gaming, they're fine if this game can be prolonged. If we got to an 18-minute game, they're super duper strong.
And we've seen that. We've seen that a couple times. Like, oh, Tsunami Slam.
Tsunami D. That's going to be Zed taken out. Glorious Pathway already laid down. DFYG. He wants to get a poke. Brilliance is there. Pagu stun Super Ken for an extra stun. But TNZ, I mean, he wants to go for that exchange on the E1 as E1 already took out Rosa. They even take more. That's going to be Pagu as E1 survives with literally 1 HP. In front of Aurora Gaming, man.
Yeah, great timing there from U1. I mean, just right at the right moment, was able to set things up and then get out with his life. So great play there. Super Ken getting the 2 kills that he has as well, helping him scale up on this YSS. It's, you know, the decision-making here from DFYG has been probably the most standout thing, like in their journey up to this point in the semifinal. You know, it's, if you consider them for a lot of viewers out there, even ourselves, Wolf, when we first were introduced to the players from DFYG and, you know, the iterations from, of course.
They want to go for Super Ken, but there comes a Tsunami Slam to counter this Yi Sun-shin. Uranus as well as the Hylas, they are tanking for now, but not going to be enough as Rosa, the Lunox, with the HP-based damage against the Uranus, it works so well. Now Aurora Gaming more than have caught up in this game.
Yeah, they basically caught up. I mean, as soon as I was saying that, I was like, DFYG's improvement has mainly been the decision making. Now they decided to go ahead and fight that fight, thinking that, again, I think any team would take that, though. You're up 1.5 gold, K gold earlier into that turtle. You might try to fight that, considering with what you had. They just kind of, the positioning wasn't where they wanted. Lunar's really low. Super Ken will get that. So that's the best thing right now that's happening for DFYG. Super Ken killing spree. Oh, Rosa. Okay, yeah, you don't go for that. Yeah, so you just build up on this YSS until, once again, Lung is going to be online on the Harith. And that's why we see this such aggressiveness from Zed and the rest of the squad here. Even Yi1 on the Eve. I feel like Yi1 is one of the more aggressive Eve players out there. There's a couple that I can think of. Yi1 definitely being one of them.
Yeah. It's going to be important for DFIG to still keep this Eve ultimate always intact. The previous splash that they have lost, it's mainly because Aurora Gaming were able to find the opening onto Yi1. Credit goes to Lunar, of course. The Throne of Ruin into the backlines of the FYG, and you can feel that for TFYG, if they don't have Yi1, always difficult to win a team fight. They need that AoE damage. Of course, eventually Super Ken will be a problem for Aurora Gaming to deal with when it comes to damage, but you definitely need. Now, Harith is nearby the turtle. DFYG can activate him. So is the Claude for Aurora Gaming. Lunar already is looking for a target. Yi1 is so important, but it seems like Super Ken is so far away from the turtle fight. And might just actually concede this. Zed already popping the ultimate. The Glorious Pathway out. They want to go for a Tsunami Slam, but Pago only finds the high loss. He don't want to go for that. Super Ken just straight up drops that, forfeits that turtle, and just goes for the push onto the top lane.
Yeah, just trade the objectives for now. Zed, he doesn't have a pathway. Might be forced to use a Revitalize here if they actually commit to this. Lunar is there as well, but luckily he had the rest of the team from DFYG. Look at the push happening up top, Till. Super Ken actually able to go ahead and get a little bit of damage on that tier 2 up top.
Okay, shifts his
Super
attention
Ken
to the purple buff, though.
And he takes the buff.
Oh, there's a Tsunami Slam under the flicker. Angle might be good enough. It's not the best, but the members of Aurora Gaming still nearby. The shutdown will be there. Siggy Boom picks up an important kill, man.
I don't know if that was worth it, because I mean, Tienzi can go ahead and start this purple. Vel might
for sure
go ahead and help, but again, you didn't. It's not like you got the tier 2 turret down. You did a little bit of damage. You did take that purple. Tienzi still trying to decide on what he wants to do. They are going to get the call to clear out the little minion. So purple buff is still going to be up most likely for Super Ken, but yeah, that was also a shutdown, right? So that bit of gold now swings in favor of Aurora Gaming, and it's going to put DFYG in a position where now you can't completely just play on that momentum that Super Ken had. He's going to have to adjust because Aurora is starting to hit that spike with this composition where, they're going to have to be concerned. And Siggy Boom's not even there yet. Like, it's going to be a few more minutes for that Klon to be online, but he's farming, he's double laning, he's getting what he needs. And once those 3 items are there, that gets pretty difficult to deal with if you're DFYG.
Imagine this game is hanging on the balance, and Super Ken has played so well in the first 6 minutes of the game. Gets 3-0-1, but in just one slip up, he gets greedy, steals the purple away from Aurora Gaming, quickly punished by Pago with that flicker. And now they will be struggling a little bit. And with the Glorious Pathway, he's starting the fight in an awkward angle for DFYG. As it's so difficult to actually help with the Glorious Pathway because there's a couple of walls blocking that angle. Now, Pago wants to go for Super Ken, but in comes Tsunami Slam onto just Zed this time. Lunar goes for the backline. Super Ken under duress. Super Ken low, has the cycle line, but will be chased down by the Lancelot. It's going to be Super Ken down and Lee Shin out, as well as the high loss in Aurora Gaming. It looked very easy for them to win this Lord fight.
Hey man, it doesn't matter if Pago is Patrick Star or Sakura here. It doesn't matter who he's playing. He's going to be so aggressive on the plays, in the roam, starting things up, putting their opponents in a difficult position. And that's what Pago does great. And a lot of the best roamers out there have that ability to go ahead and just put the opposing team in a very uncomfortable position that is basically a threat to their own objective fighting, because every single team, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that advantage when it comes to the positioning for the Lord take or for the turtle. Look at this.
Lunar onto the backline. C1 in trouble, has the flicker out, but Zed will meet his demise. Now Lunar is gonna be traded out by the FYG. Comes Sigiboom with the ultimate, destroys the turret, but they will not get a kill for now. Rosa is posing for this one. Has the brilliance. In comes the Lancelot, threading the needle. No long is gonna be taken out. TNZ unpunished as he dives with the Lancelot. The dashes will be enough. The FYG claims another turret up top, and it's a 4,000 gold lead for Aurora Gaming.
TNZ just doing work again. You see that so often with the Lancelots, right? They see the low health bars. They don't care about the turrets, man. They'll just go puncture their way in. Phantom Execution, Thorn Rose out, maneuver, and that is the finesse that Lancelot brings to a composition. And, you know, it's still the same thing. Like I was saying, it's either Pagu or it's Lunar. Lunar that time, it's an interchange. It's like, it's both the responsibility for them to go ahead and start these fights up, and you just don't know who's going to do it if you're DFYG. So sometimes it's like, you know, even if they're bundled together, that's actually working against them because there's an Alice across from them. And that Throne of Ruin, whether he uses the Gleam or the Flicker with it, will be, oftentimes he's catching multiple people, and that's the problem, you know. And if it's not them and you're by yourself, that's where the threat of the Kalea comes, because you're going to get picked off with a Tsunami Slam. And that is the difficult part of dealing with this lineup that Aurora Gaming brought to the table in game one. It's working so well for them that they're, yes, 5.5k ahead. Here's a Tsunami Slam.
They will be starting with the highness. This time Lunar over the back face catches 3 members of the FYG. He went out. That's the Eve, and now the Lancelot with the punctures misses the Thorn Rose, and the Veil survives because of that. But he won, a valuable target for Aurora Gaming to take out. That's the main defense for DFYG. And Aurora Gaming can knock onto the doors of the FYG into the mid lane. They go. Pagu looking for another jump now. Bell taking so much damage coming out from the pokes of the Aurora Gaming. Unfortunately for DFYG, they will be able to clear out the minion wave. But Aurora are just stealing away all of their cramps. It's going to be the purple buff as well as the green camps out there.
I like it, man. It's Aurora Gaming is doing exactly what this composition is supposed to do. You saw that where they Tsunami Slam Zed away from the team. Lunar follows through with the Throne of Ruin on this Alice. And it's just kind of catching them off guard. For DFYG, they're trying to decide, you know, how do we fight this? TNZ is going to put pressure here. Lord was started up by Super Ken. They're going to be pushed off of it, though. So now in a position to possibly force a fight. Pagu once again.
Pagu starts this clash. But in comes the Zaman Force, but Lunar ahead on the 3. Super Ken is now Sigiboom on the backline. Takes how long? And only 2 members remain for DFYG. Bell, a tanky Uranus, but Aurora does not mind. I think that they have an opening into the bottom lane. That's where Yuan wants to go. Bell surviving against this Alice. They might not even mind this Uranus. They will just take the Lord. No one is dying up top. Let's not kid ourselves. Well, in comes Sigiboom. So yeah, this is going to be fine for Aurora. They have collected the Lord this time. Rosa is here. They have more than enough damage to take out Bell. Yep, they're taking their time. Yep. Okay.
They're taking a lot of time here, Wolf.
They're taking way long. Okay, it's an alley-oop, but Rosa takes it. I thought it will be given to TNC.
You know what? Hey, that's Uranus right there, right? Sometimes you just got to keep them there for the rest of the team to come through, and whoever is going to capitalize on the kill will get it. But essentially, what they've done is they've got themselves another Lord, making its way down the bottom lane. DFYG scrambling here. This lineup too. Yes, sure, they'll be able to deal with the Lord. They should be able to clear this out, maintain themselves in this game. But most likely, once Yi1 uses that real-world manipulation and it's gone, they lose such a big component to the damage profile that they have. Really long on this Herod might not be enough here with this kind of lead that Aurora Gaming has, even with his Almond Force, just because it's such a forced fight with either Pagu or Lunar. So Lord is going to go down here. Next waves are going to be pushing in. There goes Pagu.
Oh, Lunar actually catches their student this time, but Yuan is actually in trouble now. Long as well from Sigibom. They have taken out two. Let's get the damage dealers of DFYG out now. Super Canister trouble. The true damage left is there.
Oh.
And now TNC collects the kill. Zen will be taken out. That's a triple for TNC. Shut down for Sigibom this time, but TNC wants to go for a double kill even for the Uranus, but that doesn't matter. A complete team wipe for Aurora Gaming, and that's game one for sure.
8-0-7.